attitude. He's given it a personality. When he came in, he had to get rid of Cooper, get rid of Mack. He's failed to replace him. But I think they're going in the right direction. We have to make a decision on Carr long term. But right now, he's at a discounted price compared to most starting quarterbacks. I think they'll be better. They just have to get some more pieces on defense.
And Rob Ninkovich, let me come to you because you brought up an interesting thought earlier today in our meeting, which is the Oakland-Las Vegas thing. That could actually be more significant than just the hat that John Gruden was mistakenly wearing.
Yeah, I mean, the first thought I had when they announced they were going to Vegas was, man, that's a tough place to bring young kids, 22, 23, 24. I mean, every player in the NFL is a young guy. So you go to Vegas, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought this. It was, geez, that's going to be a really hard place to control your team when Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can go out and you can find anything you want and you can have a great time. And when you got a little coin in your pocket, sometimes that could be trouble. So it's going to be hard for anybody to go in to Vegas and win consistently and get into the playoffs and all those things that we talk about, especially in Vegas, because of all the distractions. So I think it's just going to be hard for anyone to win there.
Look,
Vegas is closed. Vegas closed, y'all. You can't do nothing in Vegas right now?
Oh, you can, RC, you know you can find something in Vegas now. Come on.
Well, I know the nightlife. I know the nightlife in Providence is popping right now. But I'll tell you what, you can win in New York, you can win in Miami. You can't blame the city. The players have to hold themselves accountable. And I just think they don't have enough good players. You saw a lot of their defensive players were hurt yesterday. But listen, New York is a city where you can find something to do all night. Miami's a city where you can find something to do all night. I'm sure Los Angeles is a place where you can find something to do all night. They just have to get better players, and they got to get better coaches and coordinators.
Or maybe there's a reason why Green Bay is always so good. One way or another, that's our top today. Obviously, we begin with the game last night. Then we get to what shapes up to be the biggest story of the weekend. Drew Brees back at practice this week. It remains unclear right now who the Saints will start at quarterback Sunday in their monster matchup with the Chiefs. Brees coming back from 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung. Here's head coach Sean Payton.
It's pretty simple. It's just functionality, strength, throwing, without soreness, there's a process. And, last week with the trainers, he had one throwing day. Then yesterday, the same way. And it's really asymptomatic, feeling good, strong, and like you can function and be an asset and play well.
All right, Diana Rossini gets up early with us, our NFL insider extraordinaire, who has this game this weekend. You have Saints-Chiefs this weekend, and you cover the Saints very closely generally. So what is the latest on Brees, and when do you believe we will know who the starter will be?
All right, I think we're going to know later today who the starter will be. So much credit to the Saints organization, Greeny. It's Friday. We have no idea who's going to start on Sunday. This is how well kept, or at least how disciplined this team is. Nothing has been leaked out just yet. So there's a little bit of reading the tea leaves. I did make some calls on this. And here's the sense, Greeny, I'm getting a lot of optimism here. So we talked last Friday, and I was like, Greeny, no way. They're going to be conservative. We're not going to see Drew Brees until the playoffs. Well, it sounds like Drew has looked good in practice. He's getting healthy. They have gone day by day with him just to check with the trainers to make sure he's close to 100%. But it would not shock me if Drew Brees played against the Kansas City Chiefs.
That video we were just showing you was Brees working this week. And as you point out, Diana, he did look really good. So, again, you're covering this game. How are the Chiefs preparing for this defensively, not knowing who it is they're going to face?
Yeah, this is so interesting, and this is where Sean Payton is once again brilliant. Why tell anybody who's going to start and give that advantage away? Because now the Chiefs, they've got to prepare for 3 quarterbacks because you have no idea who New Orleans is going to go with. Is it going to be Taysom Hill? Is it going to be Jameis Winston? Is it going to be Drew Brees? But here's what I found out talking to Tyrann Mathieu yesterday. He said they're doing tons of work on Taysom Hill. He says he's so mobile and he's such a unique type quarterback that they've got to do more work on him. They know what Drew Brees can do. And he even said, he's like, look, all due respect, he is a Hall of Fame quarterback, that being Drew Brees. He said, but prepping, for Taysom Hill takes more work. We have to do more at practice preparing for him. And it really seems and feels like this Chiefs defense are spending most of their time getting ready for Taysom Hill on Sunday.
Again, they do have the three options. People sometimes forget that Jameis Winston is there, and those are three really different players, Breeze, Hill, and Jameis. Let me bring the guys back in here, and let me start with you. Again, not being privy to all of the information that Sean Payton has, mainly exactly what the doctors are saying and exactly how Breeze is looking. But knowing what you know, if it was your decision, who would be the starting quarterback on Sunday?
Well, first of all, it's all about Drew Brees' health, right? You want Drew Brees to be at 100%. And if Drew Brees is at 100%, if he can function, if he can protect himself, if he can play the game that we're used to seeing Drew Brees play in 2020, Drew Brees is the starter. And I don't think you really think about it. I think it's a no-brainer. One, he's a future Hall of Famer that if he wants to play and the doctors give him the okay, you allow him to play. And let's remember, the only reason Drew Brees comes out of the game against the San Francisco 49ers after leading a drive for a touchdown, after suffering the injury, is because he told Sean Payton he couldn't go anymore. So obviously they want him out there if he can be. This team needs the #1 seed, and not because things have to go through New Orleans and it's hard to win there, but because you don't want this Drew Brees to have to play in Green Bay in those weather conditions against Aaron Rodgers. You want to be able to play in the conditions you control, which is the Superdome.
Yeah, again, I will remind everyone of exactly what it looks like when you play a conference championship game in Lambeau Field. What Lambeau, the perfect illustration of that is the face of Tom Coughlin. Can we put that up, Kalen? Again, we had it yesterday. That is what it looks like. That is the perfect illustration of playing a game at Lambeau Field in January. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. That one is worth 1,000,000 words. And Rob Ninkovich, you were making that point, right? That if Drew Brees is going to get himself back to a Super Bowl again, he's probably going to have a hard time doing it if he's not doing it in his own building.
Yeah, last time I checked, the thermostat in the Superdome set at 70 degrees, which is pretty nice with zero wind. So the Saints, they need that number one seed so they can have that home field advantage. You don't want Drew Brees going up to Lambeau trying to throw a spiral through a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind with negative temperatures. You don't want that. So in this matchup, Saints versus KC, they're going to have Drew Brees out there. I think if he does come back, you could do some type of platooning where Taysom is the guy and then Drew comes in on gotta-have-it plays where you're throwing the ball down the field, because when you're preparing those two guys, it's two different call sheets defensively. So it's going to be a tall task for Kansas City if they do not know who the starting quarterback's going to be.
Bart, you see it differently. Tell me why.
Yeah, just like my mom when I used to play with my BB guns. Yo, you guys better stop until somebody puts an eye out. Listen, it's all fun and games for somebody asking barbecue sauce and the ribs for Drew Brees.
All right?
And it's all fun and games. And I know he feels healthy and he feels well. But if somebody hurts him, all your chances of winning the Super Bowl is out the window. This isn't the same typical New Orleans Saints football team. This is a tough football team led by their defense. And I think that they can go on, and that travels every single place you go. Who's to say that they're going to end up in Lambeau? If they're the top two seeds, listen, Green Bay is a team that can easily be picked off with the lack of defense that they have there. I believe that, you should